Hello and welcome to the final instalment of action from the Ultimate Karting Championship in 2022. This sixth and deciding final round comes from the scorchingly hot Three Sisters circuit near Wigan. And as we come into the weekend with no overall championship classes decided, this one could go right down to the wire. We're going to see the very best in karting action and drama in equal measure. Well, before we get underway with the two super finals that we'll be bringing you in this programme for junior and senior road tax, let's take a look at what happened last time out at Clay Pigeon, where the weather really played its part and where history was made in one class. And that class was Honda Cadet, and all the excitement was around this team, Zipcar, headed up by Earl Panagi, because young Bella Fairclough became the first female winner that we've ever had in UKC. Not only did she come from P17 to take the win, but she also did so at a canter. Bella really has proved this season that not only does she have the pace to compete with the top drivers in the UK, but now also to beat them. Finishing up in that super final Honda Cadet, in second was Noah Barham, and in third was Jaden Mead, who also made moves throughout that super final, taking up some 12 places to put himself on the podium. Brilliant racing from all those youngsters. The Honda Cadet continues to deliver the excitement. Well, in the Sony Academy featuring the Micromax class, Bella's reign as the only female winner in UKC nearly lasted only less than half an hour, as Olivia Reynolds once again proved that she has the promise and the ability to win after the disappointment that she showed spinning out in the rain at round 4 when she was on slicks. Olivia hunted down the leaders from a distance last time out at Clay Pigeon and took the lead with moments to go, only to spin off just in the final couple of corners. I think it was 3 turns to go. Dan Minto fought back, forcing Olivia off on the very same damp part of the track once again as he went onto the grass himself. Now, James Roberts, who had been leading for most of that race, couldn't believe his luck as he sailed past both of them and took the win. Fist pumping as he crossed the checkered flag there. There was yet more disappointment though for Olivia. Not only had she gone off, she got herself back on to cross the line in second, but after the race, when it was all said and done, she got another front fairing penalty, a pushback bumper penalty that saw her drop from second down to 10th. Now, this left Jaden Sherwood to come up to second, and he'd made up the most places in the super final. And JJ Lowe then was the youngster who made the long trip back to his home club in Hooton Park with the valuable UKC memories and that all-important third place on the podium. He had that trophy to cuddle all the way home from Dorset to Cheshire. Well, I'm sure many of these youngsters last time out wish they could have a go in this GB4 Championship car, but in the karts nonetheless, and in Mini-Max at Clay Pigeon, it was KR Sports' Seb Mins who finally took the win after promising so much all season. Been on the podium multiple times before, but finally got the moves done at Clay Pigeon to take a well-deserved win. He took that win from Noah Wolf, obviously the championship leader, and in third place it was Finn Leslie. The most places made up in that race, though, well done must go to Gabe Cullen, who went from 26th to 13th, so nice overtaking, Gabe. As we look at the championship ahead of this weekend, though, it could go the way of Wolf, but with Mins and Leslie tied in second place and Josh Graham not far behind, well, this super final really will be interesting, to say the least. Well, in junior road tax, it was SPR's Ted Bradbury who took the win in the super final. Not only taking that win, but also grabbing enough points to take the championship lead come the end of the weekend as we look ahead to this one. Gabe Fairbrother got back on the horse after difficulties in rounds 3 and 4, and he finished second at round 5 last time out, with Pearson Bullock Carter, the youngster, coming home in third. Angus Scrivener, though, was the young man who had his overtaking boots on. He went from 33rd up to 11th, so nice work, Angus. As we look at it then, coming into this final round, the championship lead is with Ted Bradbury. 17 points is what he's got, and there's a tie for second between Gabe Fairbrother and Bradbury's teammate Charlie Hart. This one is going to be close, and it really could, I'm predicting, go down to the final lap and maybe the final corner of that super final. Well, it was a masterclass for this man, Louis Harvey, who took the win in challenging conditions at Clay Pigeon. The Argentine driver came home in first, ahead of William Ellswood, who was taking part in the championship for the first time. And it was Zipkart driver Jenson Watts who came home in third after leading for a lot of that super final. Didn't quite have the kart set up how he wanted come the finish. The most places made up in that super final, though, was Daniel Hughes. He went up 10 to finish 24th overall, so well done to him. Now, the championship points shows Harvey has one hand on the championship title this weekend, so it really is his to lose. But I have to say, with just 11 points splitting second to fourth, how this one plays out really could be anyone's guess. Well, that was last time out, and what a fantastic round it was. And I'm pleased to say that joining me now is the man that put the voice to all of that. We don't normally get to see him. He's been let out from his commentary booth. Jake Sanson. Jake, thanks for coming down trackside and having a chat to us today. What a great round it was last time. We're standing in glorious sunshine today, but a little bit of inclement weather, a little bit of rain made it exciting when we were at Clay Pigeon.
It's been a bit like that all the way through 2022 with Ultimate Karting Championship, hasn't it? We've had mixed conditions and mixed circuits all the way through the year. It's one of the things I love about this championship. We've literally gone from as far north as Sunderland all the way down to Dorchester. So we've covered all bases in the British karting scene. And with the differences in weather, the differences in setup adjustment, all the drivers in every team, whether they are a privateer or a big gun, you know, they've really been tested over the course of the year. So the ultimate champion that comes through in each of the 5 classes really has been put to the test. Yeah,
absolutely. And talking about the classes then that we're covering in this programme, we've got Junior Rotax and Senior Rotax, and both delivered some exciting racing last time out, especially in the juniors.
Well, both categories have been consistently the tightest battle over 2022. Junior in particular, you've still got, coming into this round, effectively 5 drivers who could still be Junior Rotax champion. So last time out, it was really important for Ted Bradbury and Gabe Fairbrother to put up their A game. But Charlie Hart is still knocking on the door of them in the background, and he's really turned it on in this second half of the season. And it's his consistency that's really kept him in the game. You've often got to see Bradbury and Fairbrother picking off wins and podiums, but Charlie's very, very good at putting himself in the right place at the right time. So even as we come here to the finals at Three Sisters, he has a chance to steal it from both of them.
Yeah, he really does. And what I like about Ted and Charlie in particular, both Sam Pollitt Racing, teammates, you see him moving around the paddock, they're great pals. They're enjoying this as well.
The chemistry is really important. You need to know that, yes, obviously you've got rivals to work with, but if you're in the same awning, you have to make sure that there's good process, there's good atmosphere. There's nothing worse than 2 drivers fighting for the title in the same team that are at each other's throats and, you know, really spitting at each other. You've got to have that chemistry. It's making the team work better. It makes the drivers produce more. So obviously there's always got to be that atmosphere, and that's to the credit of Sam Pollitt. He really has created a good atmosphere and a good environment, so that even if there's 2 or 3 drivers battling for victories within the same awning, they're never going to have, you know, the dirty tactics. They're never going to have that ill feeling when they get back in.
And picking up from the juniors, slightly older in the game, a little bit more experienced, the Senior Rotax boys last time, also a super exciting one. Coming into this one, again, lots to look out for, but Louis Harvey, what a great result for him last time.
Yeah, and I think he's been building up to this all the way through the season. He's had flashes of pace right from Wilton Mill, but coming to this second half of the season, he and Argenti have really started to gel. He's starting to unlock that raw pace, that ultimate ability that we've always kind of suspected he had. He's been able to turn it on and really produce something spectacular in this latter half of the season. And he needs it because you've got so many strong drivers who are going to try and take it off him.
Well, I think between second to fourth, checking the tables, there's 11 points splitting second to fourth. But the man also that we must mention who's sitting in 5th currently coming into this weekend is Caden McQueen. I mean, that man is always running at the front. We can't write him off even though he's sitting 5th in the championship.
Absolutely not. I mean, the only reason he's down in 5th is because he's had a couple of disqualifications in heats through the course of the year. And of course, you have to count disqualifications. You can't drop them. So without those deleted results, he'd be up there in 2nd or 3rd. So he's right in the mix. And all it takes is for one of his rivals to have a similar problem here, and suddenly they've got to count that 0 score. So it's still very, very open. Caden is going to come at this with full guns blazing at 10/10. He's not going to back down from the channel. You've got Lorenzo Cordell and Kian Tassang trying to throw their weight into the mix as well. Louis Harvey being as consistent, as strong as ever. This is an absolutely wide open contest.
It really is. And we're now just talking about the championship as a whole. We're now in our 3rd season of UKC, and what we're starting to see in 2022, huge numbers turning up to the races, but it's delivering great competition of a really high standard.
That's what I love about it. I mean, you're right. We're in season 3, and obviously season 1 couldn't have come at a worse time politically, because it was straight in the beginning of the world pandemic. But what Paul Phelan and the team have created is something that all of the drivers that come, they really get a buzz from it. They enjoy it. It's old school because there's no time qualifying, so it really does test the drivers in terms of the random grid draw. So everyone gets to start from the middle, the front and the back in the qualifying heats. So it produces great overtaking. It produces great racecraft, which by the time you get to the finals, drivers are already pumped full of adrenaline, and it always provides a great spectacle, which means that the drivers are having to be on their A game in every single lap of every single session. You cannot afford to make a single mistake. It's brilliant.
And that word of not making a mistake on a single lap, that is super important here at Three Sisters. What a great circuit this is. You know, lots of overtakes, lots of high speeds, and the drivers are loving it.
Yeah, it's a vintage venue. I think it's a staple on any British karting calendar, and it's great that we're here for the UKC finals. It really does punish mistakes as well. It's one of those circuits that you have to be on your A game everywhere here. You've got the tight, challenging complexes in the twisties and those long straights. So it's a bit of a complex circuit in terms of setup and strategy, but the driver really has to produce A-grade racecraft here. You cannot afford to make a single mistake. If you miss time getting on the throttle out of Luna Bend, 2 or 3 drivers could be coming past you before you even reach the braking zone for turn 1. So you absolutely have to be 100% focused.
Well, Jake, always a pleasure talking to you. Time for you to run off now to your commentary position, and time for me to go and head to the dummy grid and see how they've qualified then for this first one in the final weekend of the season. Let's go do it. Senior Rotax Super Final then, and things are really hotting up at Three Sisters. I think the start marshal's just told me 2 or 3 minutes. Let's go and speak to the man who's on pole, Sam Pollitt Racing's Jack Lilly. Jack, how are you feeling ahead of this one?
Good. I feel confident going into it, as I've qualified on pole, and just got to keep it clean going round, and hopefully get a good result.
Obviously a circuit you like you say, you've qualified on pole.
Yeah, it's only a few miles away from the track, so I know it's so good. So I've only been here 3 times, so it's good to put it on pole.
Well done, sir. Good luck. Come this way. Let's just grab a quick word with Kern Sang. Kern, third place in the championship at the moment. Yeah. You put yourself in a great position here.
Yeah, hopefully we can keep it up the good work and bring it home and secure the 3rd place.
Yeah, brilliant. Well done. Great battle's been going on with yourself, Lorenzo and Caden, and you know it's been a great season all in all.
Yeah, brilliant championship. Everyone's been clean, fair racing, so hopefully it ends the same, and what will be will be.
Love it. Great attitude. Thanks, Kern. Come this way, championship leader here, Louis Harvey. Louis from Argenti, kart number 5. So a little bit further back than we'd expect from a championship leader. So what are you thinking ahead of this one?
Just a nice clean race, stay out of trouble, and hopefully bring home the title.
That's the plan. It's very much Louis Harvey's title to lose now. Jack Lilly and Tristan Rennie on the front row of the starting grid from Kian Sang and Caden McQueen. Then Thomas Wood and Charlie Walsh. Louis Harvey will go off P7 alongside Benjamin Doughty. And rounding out the top 10, Lorenzo Cordell and Chris Miller. Then it's Jake Gresty and George Hunter from Stephen Napier and Scott Mackerel. On row 8, it's going to be Gabe Balanka for Strawberry Racing and Callum Kinder, the privateer. Louis Weaver is alongside John Knox. And rounding out the top 20, it's Alex Moody for Cato Motorsport and James Otto for Croc Promotion. Gary Bird and Max Fitton, then Scott Dunsmore and Andrew Hughes from William Young and Andy Collinson, Jack Bate and Shane Collinson from Isaac Lord and Elliot Picard, and then Rhys Duthie from Max Kettle, Dylan Briley, Dan Hughes and Ben Perry. And we're not going to wait around, we're going straight on with it as we ride on board with Ben Doughty. He's going to go wheel to wheel there with the 39 of Charlie Walsh and goes round the outside of him through the first hairpin. Some brilliant moves from Doughty as he puts himself right into the hunt, and already there are problems. James Otto is off the road, several others down there with him as well as they go up past Penrith Climb and through to Joey Dunlop. They go now along the pit straight and up towards Paddock Bend, and it's already getting very hectic out there on this opening lap as the drivers are already putting on a show. Here's Caden McQueen in front of us. Now Caden McQueen is desperately trying to finish in the top 3 of the drivers' standings. Came into this weekend in the top 5. If he gets a win, depending on where everybody else in the title fight finishes, he has a chance to finish up the season as the runner-up. But Louis Harvey really is in a comfortable position in the lead.
Yeah, Louis Harvey effectively is the champion-elect. What do we mean by that? It means he cannot lose whatever happens in this final, providing he isn't excluded after the race in post-race scrutineering and has to count the score. Providing that doesn't happen, This is Louis Harvey's championship.
Oh, goodness me, there is not a lot of room to play with there for Thomas Wood, and he skates his way through into second position. That is as hard as nails an overtake as you're ever going to get to see at this level. So Ben Doughty now jockeying on behind Tristan Rennie, because Caden McQueen has already got past us. And McQueen is now in fourth position, so Louis Harvey looking good. Currently running in P9, doesn't have to sweat, doesn't really matter where he finishes, so long as he does. And on the inside, that is going to be Caden McQueen diving on the inside of Jack Lilly. He gets through, Tristan Rennie tries to repeat the feat, but he can't get by until they go past Penrith Climb. Now Rennie gets through, so does Doughty. Not a lot there that Jack Lilly can do about it. He just has to let them go.
Yeah, coming off the valley there, that's a classic overtaking opportunity, coming down off the valley, Lucy's Valley, to give it its full title. We're out here left-handed now onto Rogerson Straight, down to the most important turn on the circuit. This left-hander here, get this wrong, kicks you over to the right-hand side. You can easily lose 1 or 2 miles per hour by the end of the straight and get overtaken.
And there is the exact proof of it. Look, Ben Doughty is going to get up alongside with Jack Lilly, and he's actually got through. So Ben Doughty got the move there on Jack Lilly to perfectly demonstrate it. As up the inside, that's Charlie Walsh getting through on Lorenzo Cordell, who just hasn't quite had it over the course of this weekend to be able to maximise his opportunity to race for the title. Louis Harvey has had it pretty much his own way since the start of the weekend, and now he's been able to lock himself into a position. But Caden McQueen is now all over the back of Tom Wood. He knows this is his last chance to score as many points as possible in 2022. He is going gung-ho, and he wants to make it happen. He is tucked up behind Tom Wood. There he is as they go through. Kian Sang is the man out in front, still leading away comfortably. And here comes Caden McQueen, diving through on the inside of Tom Wood. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, straight into second place.
Jack Lilly on the 33 car. He's struggling a bit now, but he's impressed me this weekend, Jake. Put it on pole, but having said that, in this final, starting to go backwards now. He will not be happy with that.
There's several drivers who are not quite ending the Ultimate Karting Championship season the way they wanted to, but this is only going to spur them on for more greatness for the 2023 season. So they all want to go out on a high note, and there has been a bit of an end-of-term atmosphere down in the paddock all weekend, so there's going to be some bragging rights to shoot for. Tristan Rennie getting a tiny bit loose on the way out of the radius of the left-hand flick, and as they go round Luna, he got a little bit sluggish on the throttle. So now they go into the first corner through the tight right, left curb, right curb, and along Lucy's Valley up towards Joey Dunlop corner, which is the right-hander before the old pit straight. You can just see how physical it gets as there's a slight elevation change, not a massive one, but once you drop down towards Joey Dunlop, you really start to feel it through the bottom end of the flex of the chassis, and that really sends a shockwave through the bottom of your spine as you go through. So, on board again with Ben Doughty, chasing down Tristan Rennie through the left flick, up to Luna. And look at the bounce in Tristan Rennie's car. That's another clear indication you've got to nail that left-hand part of the radius just right. Otherwise, you are fighting with the car all the way round Luna Bend. Up the inside, Lorenzo Cordell seizes his chance and then loses ground, and they've hit each other.
Jack Lilly, that's Jack Lilly, the pole man, bouncing across the curb over the grass. And I was saying before, he won't be happy, he's going backwards, and he definitely will not be happy now. Well down the middle of the field.
Yeah, two drivers fighting for the same bit of racetrack. Look at what happened. You see, they both went for the same part of the racetrack. That's a racing incident, clear as day.
And that will be a nose-fairing penalty, Jake, pretty much guaranteed.
Well, look at Caden McQueen now. He's all over the back of Kian Sang, trying to go for the lead nice and early into this race, and he is going to make the launch up the inside. See you later, alligator. I'm off. He's going to take the lead, and if I know Caden McQueen, he is going to check out Charlie.
This is a lap further on. Caden sets the fastest lap. This is a battle for third going through now. That's Tom Wood. Is that the Thomas Wood, it says, Jake? Is that the Tom Wood?
It's tough, you know, there's so many drivers with that
Tom
name.
Wood from the triple shootout at Super 1 years ago in cadets?
You'll have to ask him next time you bump into him. Goodness me, I mean, there's so many drivers with the same name in British karting. It's always a tricky one to know, isn't it? Ben Doughty still hustling Tristan Rennie. As they come through Luna Bend once again, Doughty trying to get up alongside. There was not a lot of room to manoeuvre that, but he's had to bail out of it in the end. So he now just follows in behind Tristan Rennie once more, who is all over the back of Tom Wood. And I have to say, as much as you have to give credit to Caden McQueen for getting into the lead and getting good pace, massive credit has to go to Kian Sang. He's the one who's pulled clear of everybody else, and he's still got this massive advantage over the train. And I'm very impressed with Kian Sang in the second half of this season in senior Rotax.
Yeah, he's been very strong, hasn't he? Took a win earlier in the season and really has shown his quality, no doubt. We're on board here with Ben Doughty, another driver with a great deal of quality. That's Ben and Tristan in front. Tristan Rennie, Tom Wood out front of these two. So Tom there in third place. Tristan will be trying to turn his fourth into a podium. Here they come towards us.
And our man on the spot, Kev, is keeping an eye on things from the side of the road to see how things are battling. Kev, what can you tell us?
Lap 15 in this senior Rotax Super Fighter, then Katie McQueen looks so comfortable out in front. Kian Sang just sort of mirroring every move though, a couple of cart legs behind, and then it's the rest of the pack. Just watching as I am by the chain link fence with all the other mums and dads. It's like there's two races going on at the moment. Cade and the Kern out front, and then the best of the rest. But lots of action to watch as Kart 22 and Kart 101 just go by me, putting in moves. Doesn't really matter, I have to say, in this car, in these senior max sort of super finals at this level. Even lower down in the field, there's still lots of infighting, lots of action to watch. It's great stuff, really is a good spectacle.
You're not wrong, Kev. Charlie Walsh and Ben Doughty very nearly swap paint as they go through turn one there. Excellent racing from the front of the field to the middle, right the way to the back as well. And I'm glad you picked up on the young talent Dylan Brierley. He's had a bit of a nightmare coming into the weekend, but he's certainly finishing it on his terms. Managed to get himself into the final after a good run in the super heat earlier on, I should say, and Dylan Brierley now definitely in the hunt in the midfield. So, battle still raging. Ben Doughty trying to get away from Charlie Walsh, who is making life very difficult for him as they get up towards Luna. As they come through once again, check out who's right behind. The man who is on the bubble to go for the title, Louis Harvey, sat there in 7th place. Doesn't need to overtake these guys. He can just have fun in these closing laps and just bring it on home. The Argenti team, Ron Meadows and the whole of the crew, Danny Sweeney and all the boys back there are going to be absolutely elated for Louis Harvey if he can bring this home.
Kian Sang hounding Caden McQueen. He's not allowing Caden McQueen to clear off like he's done in earlier races, is he? And Louis Harvey there, I think might be sitting in 8th now, but that's more than good enough for the championship title. On board again with Ben Doughty. This is a battle for 5th. Charlie Walsh there in 6th.
So this is going to be an interesting one to hold on to, and you're right, because he's lost ground there to Chris Millar, has Louis Harvey. Millar getting through, not a problem at all for Louis Harvey. That won't cost him the championship at all. And with a minute to go on the clock, so impressed with Kian Sang in this latter stage of the season. He's kept Caden McQueen honest all the way through this final. In previous rounds, Caden would have got into the lead, and that would have been the last we'd seen of him. But Sang has really grown, he's developed, he's moulded himself into a front runner, and now he is keeping McQueen honest all the way through this race. The others are in a completely different class by the look of it. They both just dropped them, as Ben Doughty still desperately trying to hold on as they come back onto the Rogerson straight. Walsh has got closer than he has done in previous laps. They go through the left flick and into the right radius of Luna Bend. You can see they're a little bit tidier for Tristan Rennie. The back axle not bouncing around quite so much over the curb as they go down the straight once again into turn one. And this time Rennie has finally nailed the move there on Thomas Wood. He finally gets his man into 3rd position, goes Tristan Rennie. But I don't think this is done yet. There's going to be plenty of battles and squabbles going into the closing lap in a bit. And in fact, the time ticks down to 0. Thomas Wood's coming back at Tristan Rennie. Now Ben Doughty's trying to squeeze through on the inside line at Paddock Bend. Is there enough room? Yes, but is there enough momentum? No, there's not. And over the curb goes Ben Doughty. That's going to cost him everything.
And Charlie Walsh has gone with him as well. That's Charlie in front.
Oh.
So Charlie for ST Racing.
So not great news for Charlie Walsh and Ben Doughty, thrown out of the challenge for the podium. The leaders have already gone through, the dust is clearing, and we go into the last lap here at Three Sisters. Caden McQueen and Kian Sang way out in front, still dueling for the lead, just in case there is one last mistake of the 2022 season for Caden McQueen. Not that the Zipcar driver is going to let one of those creep in on the last lap at Three Sisters. He loves this circuit. It is a pure driver's cathedral of speed, and he is keeping hold of this lead without any hesitation. Kian Sang, full credit to him for staying with him all the way through. He's really worked hard to stay in position. He will come through now in fantastic fashion, and he will take the checkered flag. Great work from Caden McQueen. He wins the final race of the year. Kian Sang in 2nd place. Who is going to come through for 3rd? It will just be Thomas Wood ahead of Tristan Rennie. But the man who finishes behind them all in 6th position behind Chris Miller, with the top 4 McQueen, Tsang, Wood, Rennie, and then Chris Miller in 5th. It's Louis Harvey, the new champion in P6, from Jake Gresty, Gabe Belanca, Charlie Walsh and George Hunter. Great work from Dylan Briley and Daniel Hughes. They both made up more than a dozen places each in the final race of the year. And that means that the 2022 Senior Rotax Championship standings look like this. Louis Harvey has the title won. Lorenzo Cordell, Kian Tsang and Caden McQueen only separated by 9 points at the end of a close encounter. Tristan Rennie in P5 from Jensen Watts. Then Weaver, Wood, Lilly and Doughty finish off a fabulous 2022 Senior Rotax campaign.
Here we are then for the final one in 2022 in the Junior Rotax. Let's just remind ourselves, coming into this weekend, the championship table looked like this. It was Ted Bradbury leading from Gabe Fairbrother and then Charlie Hart in 3rd. But as we look at the front row of the grid, well, we're not seeing any of those 3 drivers there. An incident in one of yesterday's heats sees them way back down. We'll go and try and find them in a moment or two. But the man that's benefited this weekend, who's obviously had a great drive, is Pearson Bullock Carter. Pearson, put yourself in pole position then. How are you feeling ahead of it?
I'm feeling confident and hopefully I can try and get away and do the best I can. Really.
You've obviously managed to link it all up this weekend to put yourself in this spot. It's been a great weekend for you, has it?
Yeah, it's been a good weekend. The team's done a really good job with me and hopefully I can give them the result we all want and expect.
Well, best of luck, sir. Let's go and find then Charlie Hart is back in 7th. There's Angus Scrivener, always keen for an overtake, that man. Let's go and find Charlie Cart 50. Here he is. We come back here. Charlie, 3rd place in the championship, and yet we find you back here on what, 1, 2, 3, the 4th row of the grid. What's been going on?
So I had a good set of heats. Started on pole for the super heat, had an incident that couldn't really avoid. Dropped us back a bit to 7th, but hoping we're going to win the race and maybe the championship 5th if there's a miracle.
If there's a miracle. I think if one man could pull off a miracle, sir, it might just be you. Come this way, the man that was in 2nd place in the championship is here, Gabe Fairbrother. So Gabe, again, not quite a surprise to see you back here. It was obviously the incident yesterday involving yourself, Ted and Charlie. Do you think you can do it from this position on the grid?
Yeah, I'm feeling really confident, sorry. But yeah, it's just going to be a fair race, I think. If it's fair, we'll get the result we want.
Tell us how you've been faring this weekend in the heat as well. What's been going on with these tyres? They've been pretty sticky, I'm guessing.
Yeah, they've been alright. I just don't like the Comets, I'm honest. The Mojos are far better. But yeah, can't do much about it.
Well, there we are. It's the tyres we're on, so best of luck to you, sir, and we're all there. Let's just go and find our championship leader, who we've got to go all the way back to row 10, 53. Where is he? Where's 53? There he is, Ted Bradbury, giving me a wave. Top man, one of the most stylish men in the paddock. 53, Sam Pollock's racing, Ted. Ted, a surprise to see you all the way back here. Just tell us what's been going on this weekend.
Yeah, we had some bad luck. I made a mistake on the outlap, which caused me to almost DNF, but then I got out, and because I come out the pits, I got a DSQ. But yeah, I've got to go through now, hopefully.
I'm not going to pretend that I've done the championship maths, but have you, from this position, can you still win it? Had you already won it ahead of this super final, do you think?
I've not already won it, but it's very, very close, and I'm here to win and nothing less.
Love it. Best of luck to you, sir. There we go. Ted Bradbury saying it is here to win and nothing less. So on that note, let's go to your race commentators, Jake Sanson and Ali Tadei, with the full grid rundown.
And what a way to end the season in Junior Rotax. Pearson Bullock Carter and Aditya Kulkarni on the front row of the grid from Ollie Stevens and Angus Scrivener. Then Sam Baker and Alex Cole. Charlie Hart is 7th alongside Reece Lomax. Title contender Gabe Fairbrother P9 alongside Ben Price. Just outside the top 10, Gracie Mitchell and Archie Clark going well. Mikey Porter and Lucas Jex from Ruben Kernahan and Stephen Duncan. Then Alex Adams-Acton, Reza Sovaruthan, Ethan Head and Ted Bradbury down in P20. Then Taylor and Mackay, Palmer and Watson, Reece Bailey and Ben Cook from Morgan Hudson Brown and Zaki Hussein, Alex Duncan and Arthur Thacker, and completing the field it's Zugias Pravalonis from Alfie Richards, Carter Kelly and Matthew Lambert. Whoever beats the other in terms of fighting for the victory between Bradbury and Fairbrother is going to be champion, with Charlie Hart hoping they both fall down by the wayside. So as we plough into the first lap, everybody's trying to get through cleanly. Have we all managed to get through in one? No, we haven't. Oh, goodness me, there's 5 or 6 of them all gone off the road together. That's Bailey, Mackay, I think also Finley Watson, Alex Adams-Acton is in there, so too is Ethan Head. All sorts of shenanigans on the opening lap for all 5 drivers. They really get the worst of it as we ride on board with Gabe Fairbrother, and crucially, he's already got ahead of Charlie Hart. Let's have a look at the replay. This is what happens when too many karts go into too small a space together. It's a chain reaction, nothing that any of the 5 drivers involved in it could do. And I'm afraid that's game over already for Adams-Acton, for Watson, for Ethan Head, for Bailey and for Aaron Mackay. I think it's fair to say that both Ethan Head and Finley Watson are out of the race on the spot. The others have recovered, although they've dropped to the back of the field. This is how Aditya Kulkarni took the lead from Pearson Bullock Carter on the opening lap of the race. Kevin has news for us trackside.
Well, just 2 minutes into this one, and it's already looking quite exciting as far as the championship is concerned. I've got my eyes on Ted Bradbury, don't forget. He was our championship leader coming into the weekend. He started back on row 10 in 20th place, but last time by, my live timing is telling me that Ted Bradbury is now already up to 16th, so he's made up 4 places straight away. So all eyes on kart 53, Ted Bradbury. Can he make his way all the way out the pack? Time will tell. Early stages of this run, but trackside, super exciting to watch, I have to say.
Yeah, live championship points on your screen now. Now, Ted Bradbury, despite where he is, still has a 3-point championship lead at the moment. However, as we look at it coming off the valley, that's Bradbury making up another place. Gabe Fairbrother towards the front of the field has already made up places. He will know if he finishes second and the number 53 car is not the car in front of him, he will know that's enough for him to take the championship. Bradbury also knows he's basically got to win this race. If he wins the race, he wins the championship. If Fairbrother comes second and Bradbury is not in front of him, he wins the championship. That's the dynamic, and both of them know it.
And of course, if anything goes wrong for those two, then Charlie Hart is there to pick up the pieces at the end of the season. Pearson Bullock Carter manages to get back into the lead then. But in the championship standings, there's only 7 points between the 3 protagonists. Bradbury, Fairbrother and Charlie Hart, who bangs in the fastest lap of the race. Here comes the move again on the inside. Fairbrother and Charlie Hart both trying to make the same move. Hart has to wait an additional corner, but boy does he manage to get the undercut move beautifully timed as he now makes his way forward. So there is Charlie Hart in the 50, now in front of Ollie Stevens, picking off some beautiful moves.
Yeah, and Gabe Fairbrother, he is now 1 point behind Bradbury.
Oh, Kulkarni, what a lovely move at Fairbrother. He's going to go with him.
Oh, that was for the championship lead.
Oh, so tight. You can't afford to be too risky with Pearson Bullock Carter. He will want to finish the season with a victory. He doesn't care squat about the championship. He wants to bow out on his terms. You can't be too reckless with trying to make that move from the 2 guys in front. They're not competing for a championship, so they've got nothing to lose.
That is the target in front of us for the championship lead for Gabe Fairbrother. We're on board with Fairbrother. He's in 3rd. Now he needs 2nd. If he is 2nd and 53, Ted Bradbury is not in front of him at the end of the race, he wins the title. Now Bradbury also will know he needs 2nd. Can he see him from where he is? At the moment, he probably can't, but he may be getting signals from the side of the track to say what position Fairbrother is in, and he will know. At the end of the day, Bradbury's just got to overtake people.
And that's an off, I'm afraid. Max Taylor in the Ultimate R has gone off at turn 1, and so too has Ben Price. So that's 2 more drivers out of contention here at Three Sisters. There seems to be something going on the pit straight. Kev has news for us, and he's right there in the heart of it all.
Well, just away to my right here on lap 6, kart 25, that is Morgan Hudson-Brown. He's gone off, he's trying to drag the kart back on. The marshals are yelling at him. I think if he can restart, he will, but he's going to have to be careful here because the leaders are coming by. He's in a very dangerous position.
You're not kidding, Kev, and I have said this before, I'll say it again. Kids, pay attention. Do not pick your kart up from the front bumper, pick it up from the rear. It's much easier to move. Karts have a solid rear axle, not a differential, so the wheels do not turn independently. If you pick it up from the front, you're just basically dragging rubber across the ground.
So I'm afraid that's the end of the season for Morgan Hudson-Brown in the worst way possible. Now we've got this terrific battle. Gabe Fairbrother's got Charlie Hart right underneath him, and they're both in a race to the victory to try and get past Pearson Bullock Carter, here we go on the inside line, and this is going to be the move into the lead of the championship and into second place. Look, he's got it by 1 point as Morgan Hudson Brown is trying to recover his cart. He does rejoin. There's a stationary yellow flag as they go along Lucy's Valley up to Joey Dunlop, but he has managed to move in time. So that yellow flag is rescinded, but it doesn't matter. Gabe Fairbrother is through in a second place. That's what matters, and that's what's going to make last year's vice champion the 2022 champion if it stays like this.
And literally, we've got a great battle going in behind here.
That's Charlie Hart trying to get past Pearson Bullock Carter himself.
Yeah, fantastic battles all the way through, but Gabe Fairbrother will have started this race. He started 9th. He will have known, mark my words, he will have known second place. If 53 isn't in front of me, I am the champion, and he knows that's where he is right now, and he knows he is the current champion. If things stay as they are and he doesn't get excluded after the race, he's got it in his pocket. Bradbury, who's making his way through the field.
Here goes Fairbrother, trying to dive through on Kulkarni.
Now Bradbury won't see that, but he would have hoped they had a tangle there and Gabe Fairbrother takes himself off. Because if he had, now that's the thing. Gabe Fairbrother, will he want to win this race? Yeah, he'll want to go out winning it, but he doesn't want to take himself off and give Bradbury the chance to take the championship off him.
You have got to be so careful here, Gabe. A win is a wonderful thing, but a championship win is even more important. And Adi Kulkarni senses that he's going to be vulnerable. He holds him to the line on the inside line. Fairbrother has got to play the tactics here. Think of the long game. You've got time to get this victory in this race. You don't have to rush it. This is going to be very tense, but of course, the longer he sits behind Kulkarni, the faster Bullock Carter and Hart are going to gain ground on him.
Correct, but here's his problem. Look how close it is behind him. He can't afford to sit there. He's vulnerable to an overtake from behind. And don't forget, if he gets overtaken now, instead of being 1 point in front, he'll drop back to be 1 point behind. Look how close it is. He cannot afford to sit there. He's going to have to go for it.
And Adi Kulkarni wants to end his 2022 season on the top step of the podium. He's come close several times in UKC this year, but this is his best performance of the campaign. So he wants to bow out on the top step. So too does Pearson Bullock Carter, sat in third. So too does Charlie Hart, because that's his only way, realistically, of becoming champion. To beat everybody with a victory and hope that the points still come his way. So Fairbrother is very much in the middle of the danger zone.
Absolutely, and the man at the front of this race at the moment, Adi Kulkarni, this may be the last time you see him in a kart, because next year we understand that he may be going to F4, Jake, so I'm sure you'll be commentating on him at some point on the big circuit.
Well, certainly the Argenti team really do rate this boy. He's going places. You don't win 2 TKM Festival races finals in one day without being superstar talent. That's why Argenti picked him up for Junior Rotax in UKC in 2022. They really rate this boy, and he's doing a brilliant job of defending from Fairbrother and Pearson Bullock Carter. He is literally using all of the racetrack to keep these guys at bay.
He looks like a Ted Bradbury teammate. I mean, if he was a Ted Bradbury teammate, make no mistake, he will be backing up Gabe Fairbrother. He will be slowing down, backing him up into the pack behind, so his teammate wins it.
And there is Bradbury. He's through in about 9th position at the moment, so Bradbury is making his way through the field. Fairbrother goes for the lead of Kulkarni, takes the lead of the race. No, he just held on to that. Kulkarni had great retaliation on him, and he's going to try and come back once again. So it is Fairbrother leading the final. Bradbury has to win the race to win the title, and he's got to overtake all of these boys if he's going to have any chance of doing so. And we've only got 5 minutes on the clock.
But look at this, though. There's a group of 8 in the lead battle here, and he's in 8, so he is in it to win it. There's no doubt about it. But he's got to go from 8th, Ted Bradbury, to first place. That's enough for him to win the championship, but these in front are not going to make it easy whatsoever.
Charlie Hart there running in 4th. Ted Bradbury, where is he? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think he's up to 6th. He might be up to 5th or 6th. This is brilliant. All of our championship contenders coming into the weekend are now running in the front of this one. And it's so close out front, I think anyone could take it.
Well spotted, Kev. Ted Bradbury has not given up on this final. He is now just one car behind Charlie Hart. He stormed his way past Ollie Stevens for 5th place at the beginning of the lap. And now he is in the hunt for victory, but he's got 2 minutes to try and work his way past first Charlie Hart, his teammate and championship opponent. Then he's got to go past Pearson Bullock Carter. Then he's got to go past Adi Kulkarni. And then, no pressure, he's got to get past the incumbent potential champion, Gabe Fairbrother. This is really going to be a no-holds-barred thrash for Ted Bradbury to get to the victory.
Yeah, but he's run out of time, Jake. He's not going to do it with a minute and 30 and change on the clock. He's just not going to do it from there. He's got to hope there's some sort of issue for Gabe Fairbrother here out front. He's got to hope that man in second, the Argenti driver, Adi Kulkarni, throws one up the inside of Fairbrother and does a granny gorse park on him and takes him out. And that is pretty much, you don't want to win a championship like that, let's be honest, but you take it if it happens. And that's pretty much all that can happen here for Ted Bradbury. He's too far behind to come from where he is now to the first place position.
Well, this is going to be a fantastic podium if it finishes like this. Fairbrother winning the race and the championship in one go, and he's almost spending more time looking behind him than he is looking in front of him. He's that nervous about Kulkarni getting back through. Adi Kulkarni, this will be his best ever result in a UKC final, and what a performance he has done over the course of 2022 to develop so quickly and get up to this point. He is looking just as capable as some of the Argenti alumni before him, the likes of Dan Ginchard and Alex Powell. He is definitely another chip off that stable. And then in 3rd place, Pearson Bullock Carter. What an end to the season he is having. Great to see him emerging as a contender up amongst the title contenders in the last final of the season. And this is something that he can use and build to take into the 2023 season. Head to ukcglobal.com, by the way. All those of you who want to compete in racing at this level, you're more than able to and more than possible for the 2023 season. Get in the game yourselves, and you can race from the mini classes, the Honda Cadet classes, and even in the senior classes. Excellence knows no age at this level. Well, this is going to be an interesting end to the season for Adi Kulkarni. Can he get one over on Gabe Fairbrother? He's got 1 lap to go at the end of this one. We ran out of time just a short while ago, so it's now or never for Adi Kulkarni to snatch the final win of the season.
Gabe Fairbrother knows he's got it. If he had a look over his shoulder now, he'd know he doesn't even need to defend. That is a race-winning advantage as the starter holds out the last lap. Sonny's got a 4-point lead over Ted Bradbury as things stand, and effectively this is all over unless Kulkarni goes for a super lunge and takes him off.
Well, there's definitely super lunges in the middle of the field as well. Everybody's still racing to the line. Doesn't matter if you're not going to win the race, you want to win your battle. So everybody's staying motivated right until the end of the season. But what a performance it has been in Junior Rotax. It may not have been the most nail-biting championship decider to the last corner of the last lap, but all 3 contenders, Fairbrother, Hart and Bradbury, have given it everything they've got right to the last lap of the season. Gabe Fairbrother will win the race, and with it the title in front of Kulkarni and Pearson Bullock Carter in a brilliant final here at Three Sisters. Excellent end to the UKC season.
I tell you what, that is some superior quality flag waving right there. That is Italian quality right there, Jake. However, I will have to say, if you want to match the Italians, you've got to stand on the track and do it.
That's true.
That's how they do it.
Well, fair play to the Orange Army. They have been amazing all weekend here at Three Sisters. Gabe Fairbrother, though, wins the race and the title by making up 8 places in the final. Kulkarni second, for Bullock Carter, Hart and Bradbury, who made up 15 places to come to P5. But Matthew Lambert went 1 better than that to charge all the way up 16 places from the grid.
So that's it then for Junior Rotax in 2022, and what a super final it was. It was really close at the end there. Well done to our top 3 though. In the finish was the man that started on pole, Pearson Bullock Carter. He got himself the 3rd step of the podium. 2nd place then from Argenti was Adiata Kulkarni. Well done to you. But how about this? Full credit and kudos must go to Gabe Fairbrother. Starting 9th on the grid after what was a difficult weekend, he took the win. Charlie Hart also, don't forget, he started 7th. He came home in 4th. But what about Ted Bradbury? Ted Bradbury started on the 10th row of the grid in 20th place. He came home in 5th. So our 3 championship contenders all doing the business in that final one there in Junior Rotax. Well done to all of them. Let's go and see what Gabe had to say at the podium.
Gabe, it's been a tough season, that's for sure. Difficult round for you at Glannygorse Park. Another difficult round in a slightly different way at Rowra, where you ended up at the back of the field. But the last 2 rounds you've come strong, and today you've won the final, and it looks like you've got enough championship points to win it all. But it was tough, wasn't it?
It was a tough year, very tough year. We struggled at the start with a red flag, nearly winning the race. Then GYG, we got sadly taken out. Rowra, a mistake on my half, but the team always stuck by me, making sure they did their job every weekend perfect, and we finally showed up for these past few races.
And I like the fact that how old are you now?
16.
So you're 16 and you're expecting responsibility for what happened. I like to hear that. In the same way you were unlucky to get taken out of Glannygorse, but then next time you've held your hands up, and I like to hear that. Who is responsible for your success this season?
Ultimate are 100%. I can't thank them enough for these past few weekends, winning me the GP plate, winning me the UKC. I mean, what a team. My mechanic Aidan, never like getting angry with me, always staying calm, telling me to keep my head. My dad for taking all the time off and to take me to these tracks. My mum for supporting me at home. Everyone who came to watch me, and everyone who's ever supported me, and Chaos Sports Engines.
Addy, second place in Junior Rotax today. Looking at you, you're quite tall already. Are you staying in juniors for next year, or are you moving up?
We don't really know the plans for next year yet, but hopefully it's into cars.
Okay, and what sort of thing could we expect to see you in, maybe?
F4 looks like the next step up, so we'll give it everything to go there.
Okay, and who's responsible for your success this year?
The whole of Argenti Motorsport, Danny Soini, my mechanic Louis Diamond, and both my parents.
Pearson, 2 podiums to finish the season. That's about as good as it gets, I guess. 2 podiums right at the end of the season.
Yeah, it was good towards the end. Obviously, we moved teams and we felt like I've had a lot more pace and a lot more confidence as I've been with a new team. So it's been good to end the season in UKC.
And who is responsible for your success?
The whole of Jack's, my dad, Jack, Dodge and Jim, and all my family for supporting me.
What an end to the Junior Rotax season. Just 10 points separate the podium finishers. Gabe Fairbrother, Ted Bradbury and Charlie Hart. They've given us an amazing season. Pearson Bullock Carter, best of the rest in P4 from Reese Lomax and Stephen Duncan, with Sam Baker and Addy Kulkarni ahead of Archie Clark and the Charmander, Ewan Charman.
So that's it. We have 2 championship titles decided in 2022 in the Ultimate Karting Championship. Join us in the next programme, though, when we'll be bringing you the super final action and the 3 remaining champions in Sodi, Micromax, Minimax and Honda Cadet. Until then, though, from myself, Kev Harris and all of the team here at Three Sisters Circuit in Wigan, see ya.